Someone can't stop it. I'm excited to show you the breakout rooms portion of the Google spreadsheet that many of us GLAARG remote session managers use to keep track of things. The spreadsheet was originally made by Connor KT9 LSD, and I've modified it a little bit for my team. And I'll show you a little bit. I'll show you how we use this first tab here, the breaker rooms, which is where we essentially assign all of the VEs to their rooms. I'm going to be specifically talking about this in the context of uh, how things work usually at my team. However, it's pretty similar to how things work at a lot of other of the remote teams. Since I took a lot of since I was since I started off by working with them and took inspiration from them, as well as made my own changes. So once again, this is where we in the main room assign VEs to different rooms. At my sessions, usually I do the assignments, um, but basically, when somebody joins, um, well, actually, first of all, you can see that we have a bunch of cells with little triangles next to them, and those are actually tables. Based off, well, they pull from table. Anyway, you can click on them and basically select from a variety of locally sourced volunteer examiners um, that you can select. Well, I said select from. Anyway, so if, let's say, a new VE or another VE, not necessarily a new one, shows up at the session, under VE arrived, under this section right here, we'll put in all the VEs who show up at the Zoom session. So let's say that Connor, the person who originally made this spreadsheet, shows up in the session. He'll be here. His name will show up in yellow, which means, is there a key up here? No, it's gone. Um, which means that he has arrived, but he has not been, nobody has assigned him to a room yet. So if we come back up here, we can see that I've been assigned to the main room essentially, which is where the session manager and Zoom host and some other helpers uh, live and organize and create some chaos. Um, you can see that I'm there, and that Heather, David, Caitlin are assigned to room 1. So if I want to assign Connor to room 1 up here, what I can do to search for him, is either search his call sign. I'm really doing good here. We're having fun. Wait, hold on. Okay, Katie, why isn't it showing up? Okay, I'm just not competent. Um, you can type in the call sign, and it'll show up. You can also type in the VE number 2138, and it'll show up. Or you can type in someone's name, and it'll search for them. Although, typically, when you type in somebody's name, a lot of different names will show up. So to select him, I can click it down and then enter, or click on him, and that'll put him into the cell. And then he'll turn green up here and down here, indicating that he has been assigned to a room. Uh, Although, by the way, I would recommend searching by call sign or VE number since it's unique to the person. And I'll just usually do whatever I know off the top of my head, or whichever one is easier for me to type. Because I prefer, I don't do names. I don't usually search by names because sometimes we have names that are nice and popular, and it's a little bit quicker to not have to scroll through the list and find which one you're talking about, or which one you're trying to select. Um, cool. So anyway, we have room 1 all set up. Typically, I'll put Um, so these are my exam rooms here. Room 1, 2, 3, and 4. Whoops. Room 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 5 through 9 down here. These are the exam rooms. That's where all the testing is gonna happen. Um, and typically what I'll do is I'll put the room lead, what we call the room lead, at the top. Um, and that's kind of to indicate that they're the person. The room lead is the person in charge of the room, basically, to make sure everything goes smoothly. They're typically, well, they are a little bit more experienced, and they know what to do when things go wrong, and they basically help organize the chaos, because not all of our VEs are expected to know everything about GLAARG procedures or what to do in certain situations. So we always have somebody who's more experienced. Although um, in this scenario here, all these people are much more experienced than I am. Um, but by putting somebody at the top here, I'm indicating that Heather is in charge of controlling all of this craziness here. Um, and then under that we can see what applicants were assigned to that room. Um, and that pulls from the roster section. So we can see here that Edith, you can kind of see it here when I select the column. Edith and Jonathan were assigned to room 1. And Edith is green, showing that they're done. Jonathan is yellow, showing that they're not done. And in this view, it just kind of helps us see who's in what room. Maybe if I'm trying to decide which room should get the last applicant, I'll look here and see. I'll be able to quickly see who's had the least number of applicants, or um, if I'm talking to them after the session, I can click here and see which people they tested um, quickly, or just see who they're testing next when I want to focus on this view. Anyway, um, so that's how to select and add people to a room. This room is now full. Typically, we have legally we only need 3 people in one testing room to observe an applicant. However, we usually have 4 in case one of them loses connection, and that way we don't have to terminate the exam just because of one of the VEs had their Zoom crash or something. So, by the way, I'm kind of going over. I should have stated this earlier, but I'm kind of going over um, how to do stuff if if you're the person assigning people to rooms. However, most of the VEs, as like a VE in one of the test rooms, all you need to worry about on this section of the spreadsheet is what room you're assigned to. So as a VE in a testing room, you don't need to add anybody to the sheet or move anybody or do anything on the sheet. You just need to look at it and see which room you are assigned to. But if I was the session manager and I asked you to help me assign people to rooms, this is how you would do it. Um, yeah, I should have said that before. So if I wanted to move somebody, let's say that Connor and Caitlin see that they've been assigned to both assigned to room 1, and they're like, by the way, they're siblings, they're twins, and they spend a lot of time together. Let's say that they're sick of each other, and they're like, please move one of us. I could just go here, delete Connor, and then go to room 2, and put him in there. Um, Boom. Or you can also copy and paste. Oh, by the way, actually I should have demonstrated that. Boom. Here we go. Okay. This video is a little bit less professional than the roster one, huh? Um, you can see here that it shows up red if somebody has been assigned to multiple rooms, and that's helpful in case we accidentally do that. Um, to show us that there's multiple people assigned to a room. Um, what you can also do is you don't have to assign people after they've arrived. A lot of teams like to do all the assignments before the session starts, so they have them all ready to go, and then they can just make some adjustments if they need to. So let's say that. Okay, so if I wanted to add, I can add anybody. By the way, any of you can search for any of the VEs here, in these cells, any of the active GLAARG VEs. It's based on another spreadsheet. So I can assign somebody here, and if they show up in white, if they're not highlighted, it just means it means that they have not arrived at the session. So I can assign Nick to this room, um, and when he joins, uh, so I'm basically saying when he joins, he'll be in room 1. So let's say he joins now. The Zoom host usually will put him down here, and now he'll show up in green in room 1, where previously he showed up in white. Cool. And then I could go down here, and I can see that Nick and Steve are still in yellow, which means I have not assigned them to a room, and I'll just pop them in room 2 right there. And now, down here I can see that everybody who is here, everybody who is at the session at the moment has been assigned to a room. And so these are our main testing rooms here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then more down here. And then we also have welcome, pre-check, ready, and exit, and those are our rooms that we use. Well, welcome, pre-check, and ready are used for applicants that are waiting, that are waiting for their testing room to be ready for them, and then exit is where they go after they're done. So if you're assigned to one of these rooms, basically, you won't be in a testing room and you'll be doing different duties, depending on the room. Cool. And if you're up here, it means you'll be in the main room. So you'll either be Zoom host or somebody who's helping the session manager use the spreadsheet, or let people in, or rename people, or keep track of the Discord or something like that. This VE count and this list over here just helps us make sure that what we checked on the spreadsheet matches what's in exam tools. So oftentimes people might be on exam tools, but they don't end up showing at the session, and we remove those people so that the statistics are not skewed for session counts and stuff. So if we, in exam tools, if we have 8 VEs, and here we have 7, and we know that we checked in 7, we know that we have to find who the extra person is in there and remove them. And then this list is alphabetical based on call sign, I believe. I'm pretty sure A goes before K in the alphabet. You might wanna double check that. It's alphabetical based on call sign, which is the same as in exam tools. So we can easily pull them up side by side and go through the list and see where the mismatches are. Cool. I can't really think of anything else. So these cells, you can technically put anything you want in them, even if whatever you put in there is not a VE. However, it'll say invalid, because input must fall within specified range, because it can't find that in the spreadsheet with all the VEs in it. It doesn't mean you can't put someone in there. Like if someone is observing, maybe you could put them under here, Um, but when you see a red arrow like that, it might mean that, well, actually, it means that it can't find whatever you entered in the list. Um, recently, so if you put a VE that you know is actually active in there, and if it doesn't show up, it could mean that they're not in the spreadsheet yet, or maybe you put uh their general VE number instead of their extra VE number or something like that. Or sometimes um, it pulls from a sheet that basically that imports all the VEs. I didn't want to do that. And sometimes you need to refresh um, refresh that sheet. But anyway, uh, let me see if I can think of anything else. This is nice because it keeps everything. I mean, just like the other portions of the spreadsheet, it keeps everything organized, and you can easily move people around, and you don't have to like individually tell people which room to go to, uh, like one by one, because that could be kind of slow if you have 20 VEs. So they can just see, or you as a VE can easily see what room you're in, and if you want to be in a different room, or if you want to do welcome or exit or something, you can always let the session manager know. Cool. Well, now you know what to do if you've been assigned to do if you've been assigned to create group assignments or to assign if you've been assigned to assign VEs to rooms, or now you know what at least what all this stuff means if you're in a testing room. Cool. Let me know if you have any questions, or let somebody smarter than me know, or and don't forget to have fun.